Hello everyone, and welcome back. Today, we are going to talk about something that affects millions of older Australians directly, and that's the age pension and the new changes that have just been announced. September is bringing big news, and for many seniors across the country, this update will have a real impact on day-to-day life. Whether you are already receiving the age pension, applying for it soon, or simply want to understand how the system works better, this video will guide you through everything step by step in clear and simple language. The age pension is one of the most important forms of support for seniors in Australia. It's designed to help older people cover basic living costs after they retire, especially when they may not have enough savings or superannuation to depend on. For many households, this payment is the difference between just getting by and being able to live with a bit more comfort and security. That's why even small increases or changes in the rules can make such a big difference. Now, the exciting news is that in September, there is a pension boost coming. This isn't just talk or speculation, it's an official adjustment that will start showing up in payments. The Australian government reviews the age pension twice every year, in March and September, and adjusts the rates to keep up with inflation and changes in wages. This September, because of the rising cost of living, the increase is larger than usual, and that's what makes it so important for seniors to understand. Let's break this down carefully. First, what exactly is changing? The pension increase means that the base rate of the age pension will go up. This applies both to single pensioners and to couples. The increase might not sound massive when you hear the weekly amount, but when you add it up across a full year, it can make a noticeable difference to a pensioner's budget. For example, a small increase per fortnight could add up to several $100s over the year, and that money could go toward groceries, bills, medication, or even just a little more breathing room when the electricity bill arrives. It's also important to understand how the pension system works in Australia. Not everyone gets the full age pension. The exact amount you receive depends on two main tests, the income test and the assets test. These are used to measure how much other money or resources you have, and your pension is adjusted based on those results. The good news is that in September, along with the pension increase, the thresholds for these tests are also being adjusted. That means more people could qualify for payments, and some people may see their pension go up simply because the cut-off points have shifted. For example, under the income test, if you earn more than a certain amount from work, investments, or superannuation, your pension might be reduced. But when the threshold goes up, you're allowed to earn a little more before your pension is affected. Similarly, with the assets test, the value of your savings, investments, or property outside your main home is taken into account. If you have assets above a certain level, your pension may be reduced or cut off completely. But in September, those limits are being raised, which means that seniors who were just above the line may now be able to qualify for a part pension. This is one of the most important details of the change, because it means not only higher payments, but also more people gaining access to the system. Another detail worth mentioning is that when the pension goes up, other related payments often increase as well. That includes things like the pension supplement and the energy supplement. While these aren't huge amounts, they are regular additions to the pension, and every little bit helps when the cost of living keeps going up. Seniors are especially affected by rising prices for essentials like food, electricity, gas, and medical costs. Having a small boost in regular income can make those increases a little easier to manage. Now let's pause for a moment and talk about why this adjustment happens in the first place. The age pension isn't a fixed amount that stays the same forever. It's indexed, which means it's regularly reviewed and adjusted to make sure it reflects changes in the economy. The government uses both the Consumer Price Index, which measures inflation, and the Pensioner and Beneficiary Living Cost Index, which looks at the specific costs faced by pensioners. They also compare pensions to average wages to make sure payments don't fall too far behind what working Australians are earning. This combination ensures that pensions stay fair and realistic over time. This September, the reason the increase is larger than usual comes down to the high cost of living. Inflation has been running higher in recent years, and seniors have felt the squeeze. Essentials like groceries and power bills are eating up more of the budget than before. The pension increase is designed to provide some relief, even if it can't completely remove the pressure. It's a recognition that older Australians deserve dignity and support as prices rise. Of course, when people hear about increases in the pension, one of the first questions is, how much exactly? While the numbers can change slightly depending on individual circumstances, the broad picture is that single pensioners will see an increase in their fortnightly payment, and couples will see a combined increase as well. Over the course of a year, this adds up to a meaningful boost in income. For someone living on a tight budget, this extra money could cover a few more bags of groceries each month, or make it easier to keep up with rent if they are not living in their own home. Another important part of the story is how these changes interact with other benefits. Many seniors receive not only the age pension, but also concessions such as cheaper medicine under the Pharmaceutical Benefits Scheme, discounted public transport, and lower utility bills through various state-based programs. The pension increase doesn't take those away. In fact, in some cases, it can make people eligible for more. For example, if someone wasn't qualifying for certain concessions because their pension was too low, the boost might push them over the line. This is why it's so important for seniors to stay informed and to check their entitlements regularly. We should also take a moment to talk about who is eligible for the age pension in the first place, because not everyone automatically gets it when they turn a certain age. The pension age has been gradually increasing, and as of now, it's set at 67 years. That means you can apply for the age pension once you reach that age, provided you meet the residency requirements and pass the income and assets tests. Residency requirements mean that you usually need to have lived in Australia for at least 10 years, with at least 5 of those years in a row. There are some exceptions, but that's the basic rule. Once you qualify, you can apply through Services Australia, and from there your payments are set up. It's worth noting that many people don't receive the full pension, but rather a part pension, depending on their circumstances. This is why the September changes are so helpful. They don't just raise the basic rate, but they also adjust the thresholds so more people can benefit. At this point, it's clear that the September pension boost is not just about a few extra dollars in the bank. It's about helping older Australians live with a bit more confidence and security in a time when prices are climbing and budgets are under stress. For many, this adjustment will provide breathing room. For others, it may be the difference between being able to qualify for support or missing out entirely. That's why it's so important to understand what's changing, how it works, and what it means for you or your loved ones. In the second part of this video, we'll go even deeper. We'll talk about how seniors can make the most of these increases, how to check if you're getting everything you're entitled to, and some practical tips for managing your pension in today's economic climate. We'll also cover the common questions that many people have, like whether you can work while receiving the age pension, how superannuation fits into the picture, and what you should do if you think your situation has changed. So stay with me, because there's still a lot more to unpack. These changes are real, they are happening this September, and knowing the details could put more money in your pocket and give you more peace of mind. We walked through the September age pension boost, what it means for single pensioners and couples, and how the income and asset thresholds are changing. Now, in this second part, let's take things a step further. We are going to focus on how seniors can actually make the most of these changes, what you should be looking out for, and how to keep your pension secure in the months ahead. The first and most practical step is to check your current pension rate. Many seniors don't realize that their payments can shift from time to time, not only because of these twice-yearly adjustments, but also because of changes in their personal circumstances. For example, if you've recently sold an asset, downsized your home, received an inheritance, or even changed the way your superannuation is structured, that could affect the amount of pension you're entitled to. With the September changes, it's a good idea to log into your MyGov account or speak with Services Australia directly to make sure your records are accurate. That way, you'll know you're receiving the correct amount. The second point is about making the most of concessions and supplements. The age pension is the foundation, but it's not the only form of support available. Seniors in Australia often qualify for extras like cheaper medications through the PBS, lower electricity and gas bills, discounted council rates, and reduced public transport fares. These programs vary from state to state, but many of them are linked to the pensioner concession card. When your pension goes up in September, it doesn't reduce your eligibility for these concessions. In fact, some people who move from a part pension to a full pension because of the threshold changes may now be able to access additional discounts they couldn't before. This is why it's worth checking every year, or even every few months, what you might be entitled to. Many seniors miss out on hundreds of dollars in savings simply because they didn't apply for the concessions they qualify for. Another common question is about working while receiving the age pension. Many Australians are staying in the workforce longer, sometimes because they want to, and sometimes because they need to. The good news is that you can work and still receive the pension, but there are limits. This is where the income test comes in. You're allowed to earn a certain amount before your pension starts to reduce, and the government also offers something called the work bonus, which makes it easier for older Australians to earn income without immediately losing pension payments. In simple terms, the work bonus means that the first part of your employment income is not counted in the income test. This allows many seniors to work part-time or casually, perhaps just a few days a week, without cutting too deeply into their pension. With the September threshold changes, this balance may become even more favorable for some people, because the amount you can earn before being affected has been raised. Superannuation is another important piece of the puzzle. Some people worry that having superannuation automatically disqualifies them from the pension, but that's not the case. Super is counted as part of your assets, and once you reach pension age, the way it is assessed can vary depending on whether you've started drawing it down as income or whether it's still sitting untouched in an account. If you're not sure how your super is being treated in the pension test, September is a good time to review it with a financial counselor or advisor. Sometimes, just changing the way you access your super can make you eligible for a higher pension payment. It's also worth remembering that the age pension is paid fortnightly, and those regular payments can add up significantly across the year. With the new September boost, single pensioners and couples alike will see their annual income increase. While it may not solve every financial challenge, even a few $100s extra a year can be meaningful if it's managed carefully. That might mean using the extra money to pay down small debts, putting a little aside for emergency expenses, or simply making the cost of everyday essentials less stressful. For those who are just about to apply for the pension, September is an especially important time. If you were previously told that you didn't qualify because your income or assets were slightly too high, the new thresholds might change that. It's always worth checking again, because the rules shift every March and September. Don't assume that a rejection in the past means you'll always be excluded. There are also situations where couples should pay special attention. In the pension system, couples are assessed together, whether married or in a de facto relationship. This means that your combined income and assets are taken into account. Sometimes one partner is eligible while the other isn't, or one partner receives a full pension while the other receives a reduced rate. With the September changes, couples who were just over the cutoff may now qualify for higher payments. If you and your partner haven't reviewed your situation recently, now is the right time to do so. Now, let's talk about practical money management tips for pensioners. Many older Australians live on very tight budgets, and the rising cost of living has made that even more challenging. The pension boost is welcome news, but to really feel the benefit, it helps to plan how that extra money will be used. Some people like to divide their pension into different categories: essentials like food, utilities, and medicine first, then small amounts for savings or discretionary spending. Even a modest increase can make the system easier to manage. Others might choose to put the extra aside for larger bills, like car registration or insurance, so that when those payments come around, they don't create sudden financial stress. It's also important to mention scams and fraud, because unfortunately, whenever there are government payment changes, scammers try to take advantage. Seniors may receive phone calls, emails, or text messages claiming to be from Services Australia, asking for personal details or bank information. The real Services Australia will never ask you to provide sensitive details in this way. Your pension boost will be applied automatically. You don't need to do anything special to receive it. If you get a message that doesn't feel right, the safest action is to ignore it and contact Services Australia directly through official channels. Protecting your personal information is just as important as knowing about your entitlements. One final point that often gets overlooked is the importance of reviewing your situation after major life changes. If you move house, if a partner passes away, if you sell a property, or if your health changes and you need more support, these events can all affect your pension eligibility and payment rate. The September boost is a great reminder to take stock and make sure you're getting everything you're entitled to. Don't be afraid to ask questions or seek help. There are community services, financial counselors, and advocacy groups that can walk you through the details if you find the system confusing. So, let's recap what we've learned across this video. In September, the age pension in Australia is increasing, with both singles and couples receiving higher payments. The income and asset thresholds are also rising, which means more people can qualify for pensions or receive a larger amount than before. These changes are designed to keep up with inflation and the rising cost of living, making life a little easier for seniors. On top of that, related benefits like concessions and supplements remain in place, giving pensioners additional support. For those who are still working or managing superannuation, the rules allow some flexibility, and with the new thresholds, the balance may be more favorable than it was in the past. The key message here is that staying informed matters. The September pension boost is not something you have to apply for. It will be added automatically, but knowing the details helps you understand your income, plan your budget, and take advantage of other programs linked to the age pension. By checking your entitlements, reviewing your situation regularly, and protecting yourself from scams, you can make the most of the support that's available. To close, I want to say this: the age pension is not a handout, it's a recognition of the years of contribution that older Australians have given to society. You've worked, raised families, paid taxes, and built communities. The pension is a way for the country to give back, to ensure that retirement years can be lived with dignity, security, and peace of mind. This September's boost is a reminder that you are not forgotten, and that support is there for you. So, take a moment to review your situation, check your payments, and make sure you're receiving everything you're entitled to. Even small increases can make a big difference when managed wisely. And remember, you're not alone. There are services, advisors, and community groups that can help if you ever feel uncertain about the rules or your rights. Thank you for spending this time with me today. I hope this explanation has made the September pension boost clearer and more useful for you. Stay safe, stay informed, and take confidence in knowing that these changes are designed to give you that little bit more support as you continue your journey in retirement.